Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto. Today I'm here with the guest, Andrew Barreto. For those of you who may not know, he is my uncle. He's a very big card collector and is a very opinionated sports fan. Would you like to give us a little introduction?
Hey, I appreciate you having me on your show. I know when you first started this thought, and then you started just diving right in, and it was exciting to hear. And now you finally called me in to be on your show, so I'm very very excited to be here. Um, I like the title. Yeah, if anything, I would know a little bit about coming off the bench. Not much playing time myself when I was signed up back in the day. Late '80s, early '90s. But um, you know, it's just all you having fun. Just keep things going. But yeah, no, I'm big Warrior fan, Raiders, all that good stuff. But yeah, no, let's see what we have. We'll just start chatting and just go with it, huh? Go with the flow.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about post NBA trade deadline teams and records and stats like that. But first, we're going to start off with Stephen Curry last night, February 27th against the Magic. Did you watch this game?
I checked my phone. I got home from work, checked my phone. He had 46 already, and so I immediately turned on the channel. I was like, okay, this guy, he's on something right now. Let me go see what this is all about. And luckily, I still caught some good parts of the fourth quarter where they could not stop him. There was just times where he was double team, triple team, running around like he always does without the ball and just nailing three pointer after three pointer. They were going back and forth because Paulo Banchero, he did too. I think what did he have 41.
Yeah, Paulo had a good game. He was really good in the first half. Slowed down a little bit in the second.
Yeah, so I mean, down that stretch there when the time was clicking away and had limited time left in the game, they were going back and forth. So it was pretty cool to watch and just see Curry the way we've seen him so many times in his career. Do it again for the what he had 12 threes for like the ninth
12
time.
threes.
Yeah, 12 threes and yeah, it's just you got to tune in when he starts going off like that. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I just sit there, stand up, whatever it takes. I just start just laughing like at his greatness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember. I forgot the game was early because I'm so used to them playing at 7, but they're in the East Coast, and I remember I turned it on. It was like the second quarter is about to end. They're down like 17, and then boom, he's already at like 21 points, and he hits this 62-foot half court shot,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, wow. And then they come out the third, and he's on one. He's just nailing three after three. They down 14 and a half. They were up 10, and he was just on one. Normally you see Steve Kerr sub him out when he's on one, but he kept him in until he finally saw they started double teaming him. And he's like, okay, you got to get a rest now. And I mean, just the things he does. I mean, when he just catches on fire like that, I mean, just like no, you can't defend him. They'll find every way to get him open, and he'll just knock down every shot. But one thing I did notice about that performance last night is Jimmy Butler. When Curry wasn't on the court, Jimmy needs to be more. He needs to look to score more. It looked like he was looking to pass first. And that was one thing that I mean, that's one of the reasons why they brought him in. I mean, obviously he works so well with Draymond and Curry, but without Curry on the court, he needs to look to be the number one guy. Because I remember one time shot clock was running down, and Jimmy's got a pretty good mid range shot, but he didn't look to get to it. He just looked and drew in a defender and they kicked out to Moses Moody. Which shout out to Moses Moody, he's been great starting for the Warriors. So I think that's one thing I like to see about Jimmy is when Curry's not on the court, Jimmy needs to be looking to score more.
yeah. No, Jimmy's been great. I mean, we all know what he's been doing since he's came to the team. I didn't know how it was going to be personally for me. I didn't know if he was going to make this team better, make it worse. We got rid of Wiggins was part of the of that trade there, and we are just kind of okay. Well, let's see what happens. I mean, it's been nothing but good, right? I mean, what are they 7-1 since they acquired Jimmy? Yeah, last night he was a little off. I think he was what was he 1 for 7 1 for 7. He had like 5 points. Still had 7 assists, and I mean he still commanded some attention when whenever he's on the floor because of what he could do, right? Driving to the basket, like you said, kicking it out to open. Moody, I know you brought up Moody. He's been huge. The last 7 games, he's been in double figures. Um, yeah, Moody, Quentin Post. He's
Quentin
just been
Post,
playing.
he had a
Gee,
big game last night. I believe he
yeah,
had 18 off the bench. He only played 5 minutes in the first half. Came out in the second half and was doing it all. He was on both sides of the ball. He was playing really
yeah.
good defense, knocking
That's a
down
shocking.
shots. It
Yeah, that's
was,
a shocking. Uh, that's something to see too. That's good to see the young guy there, 7 footer. He was
yeah.
the next leading scorer after Steph there, and then it just drops off from there. But after Steph's magic that he performed, it's like didn't really need anybody at the time. So Jimmy Butler's game, that off game that he had was, it was okay, especially when you have number 30 on the court.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
But I think another thing the Warriors need to do is, I mean, they got to the free throw line about 34 times last night, and it's not something you see often. Normally they shoot maybe 10 free throws a game.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they need to be shooting 30 free throws a game, but I think they need to be getting in the range of like 15 plus. They need to be getting to that line more. And I know Jimmy's obviously helped that a lot. He's been shooting a lot of free throws, but he didn't shoot many yesterday. But yeah, like you said, I didn't know how the Warriors were gonna be after the trade. I was a big Andrew Wiggins fan because he was a key part to that championship of 22. But they are 7-1 with him. They've been on a big win streak. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's been on a 5-game win streak with them.
Yeah.
Curry's been playing. Jimmy's been playing pretty good too. He's averaging 16 points, five and almost six rebounds, and almost 6 assists. But as Curry as well has just been ever since Jimmy arrived. Curry's been playing out of his mind. He's been averaging 30 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds in the 8 games that they played together. And the Warriors have looked great. They look like a team that can win it all this year. Before the deadline, they weren't really blowing out teams, but since acquiring Jimmy, they blew out like 3 back-to-back-to-back opponents. And so now they finally look like a team. And like you said, the young guys all stepping up, and they still have Jonathan Kuminga back yet. He'll probably be back, um, I believe on like Monday. So it's finally good to see them winning multiple games in a row like they should be.
Yeah, they moved up. They're now in the 7th seed, depending what happens tonight, right, with the Clippers and Lakers. I think that seeding could change, just depending on the Warriors keep winning, keep playing the way they have been since the acquisition. Um, yeah, it's all good. And Kaminga hasn't even played yet. I mean, that's just an additional firepower to add to all the other guys. And yeah, this is go from really don't know what the season's going to bring. Are we going to waste Curry's last few years or whatever it may be? But it looks like these ownerships and done leaving Lake Up, they want to go all in, get Butler, uh, get Quentin Post is playing good, get Kaminga back, and yeah, I think they're going to be a problem. Be a problem regardless of where they see. Just not the playing game, right? We want.
Yeah, they want to be out of that. They lost in that game last year, and it was heartbreaking for me.
Yeah.
So they're definitely looking to get to at least that 6th seed.
Yeah, you have one bad game. You playing one game to get in or not. I mean, that's just your team's having a bad game, then you're out, and then that's it. You wait till next year. So definitely don't want to be in the playing game, but things are looking really good.
Yeah, so we'll get to the other side of that, the main part of that trade. So obviously, Butler had some problems with the Heat. They deal them to the Golden State, and Golden State deals Wiggins and a couple other guys to a couple other teams. But since acquiring Wiggins, the Heat are only 2-4 with him. But he's not playing bad ball. He's averaging almost 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. So, I mean, like I said, has a big part at a Wiggins had a big part in that championship. And, he was averaging like close to 28 rebounds and stuff like that. I mean, how did it feel to you when they shipped him off to the Heat?
Yeah, it was tough. He was such a big part of that championship team. And yeah, he was a monster. I mean, he was, at sometimes he's dunking over whoever, you know what I mean? Posterizing people, putting up big numbers, and yeah, he was a big part. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are not going to forget that. Business move as usual. I mean, they're just trying to change things up. This season hasn't gone the way they want it to go. I'm pretty sure about that. That's why they made the move. And the Warriors, just with the new owners, have just been, seems like every year, looking to get better. How can we get better? What do we need to do? And they're always like notorious for who's available. LeBron's available. Let's go after LeBron. Let's go after
Yeah.
KD. Let's get KD back. Let's get Jim. And that's just, as a Warrior fan, that's just really nice to hear. Like, because it wasn't like that before. It's just like everybody was trying not to go to the Warriors, but now you have that pedigree championship. You got Steve Kerr with all those championship rings, USA gold medals. You got obviously Curry. Everybody knows about Curry, right? But you also got
Yeah.
Draymond. Draymond's just a smart basketball player, regardless, of his antics, if you like him or not. He's just, hey, he's a Hall of Famer. He does his job well.
Yeah,
And
he's a defensive player of the year player. I mean, he's a great
yeah,
leader.
yeah. He's vocal leader. He's he's a maniac too. So it's okay. We need someone like that on the team to just to set everything straight. So yeah, I mean, things are looking up, man. I can't. Pretty excited to see how things pan out.
Yeah, and normally, the Warriors, the past couple of years, ever since they won the championship, it's always they're into looking at the trades for these guys. But they never really went through. And finally, this year, they actually got it to go through. They got a big name guy. Obviously, they were looking at Kevin Durant, but he didn't want to come back. But they still got Jimmy, and yeah, things are in the right direction. So now we're gonna transition to the Doncic and Davis trade. Before we get into the details of after the trade, what were your thoughts when that trade went
Oh
down?
no, I thought someone should be fired for this. I think the GM should not be employed. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. If we knew that Doncic was available, I mean, hey, here goes Kaminga. You take who do you want? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like if that was made more public, we'd try to put a package together. You could have my next 5 first-round picks. I don't know. I'm just saying, like how do you give up someone? I don't even know, is he in his prime yet? Was he 24 years old? I mean, he's just face of that franchise. He's just one of the best players in the league.
he was just in the finals.
Yeah, you just in the finals. You were in the conference finals. What, the year before? I mean, it's just ridiculous that this trade was allowed. I don't even know. Did the commissioner have anything to say on this? Because you just made the Lakers. Their title odds jumped right after this trade. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, and for me, growing up, I've seen, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that dominating team. And then I watched Shaq and Kobe, that dominating team. And I got Luka and LeBron. I know LeBron's older, but he's still balling. He's still playing
yeah,
at a
he's
high
still
level.
averaging like 26 points a game. I mean, he's
There
still
you go.
LeBron. And I mean, I agree with you. Like, how did they not make him available? Especially how did they only make him available to a team in their conference?
Yeah, I know.
A team that they're gonna play many times throughout the year. Like, you could have dealt him to
This is why it's
someone
so
in the
upsetting.
East. You
This
could
is
have
why it's
dealt
so
him to
upsetting.
someone
I
in the
mean,
East, like, but
I
it's
uh,
like,
I I feel for that fan base. I mean, because that
yeah,
whole place is Luke'd out. I mean, a funny thing I found. I don't know if you've even seen this. They got a GoFundMe. Did you ever see that?
I
They
have
have a
not.
they have a GoFundMe. It says Dallas deserved better. It's an anti-Nico, and I'll just send billboard. So they want to raise enough money to put billboards up. I don't know whatever they're going to say against management, against GMs, the executives, whatever it may be, but they've raised already $50,000 to get these billboards, and it's just $20 here. I was looking at it today. 77 looks like $100. Somebody's bidding, anonymous people bidding, and it's just a guy. I'm a heartbroken Mavs fan. Nico Harrison and Allison family have done the unthinkable, trading away our beloved. He goes on and
Yeah,
on about. Uh, I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but it's pretty like well thought out too. Like his plans, what he's going to do with the money. He wants to get billboards uh, around the arena there. Just I don't know. Like I said, unheard of trade. I mean, I think this is the worst trade. I mean, I started Googling before we came on. Hey, what are the worst trades ever? Because I think this is number one.
It probably is, and I mean, especially since I mean Max Christie. Like I have the schedule here, so Max Christie. I mean, they're 6-4 with Max Christie playing. He's been balling out. Um, he's averaging 14 points per game with them. I mean, he's been really good for the Mavericks. The Lakers are 4-2 with Luka. Luka still isn't playing his best ball, but Luka's averaging 19 points and almost 10 rebounds and almost 7 assists for the Lakers. And I mean, it's like you said, one of those unthinkable things that would ever happen. I mean, you think they would want to try to build a contending team around him. You know, they were just in the finals. You think they would try to? You think they would like trade all their first round picks in the next 4 years to try to get someone to compete with him now, right? You know, because he's so young. You gonna have him for so long, and then they dealt him, and it's just like a slap in the face for the Maverick fans and even fans around the leagues. Like they said, I mean, they only offered him to the Lakers. And it's like there's so many young talent around the league, and you not saying Anthony Davis is a bad player. Anthony Davis is really good, especially when he plays the four. I mean, he was dominant in his one game with them. He had like 26 points in the game he played with them. But it's like there was so many young stars in the league you could have traded for, and you could have got a lot more for. But instead, you went with the Lakers and just like handed him over.
You handed him over. I mean, listen, yeah, Anthony Davis, we know who he is, right? He's, I think I started watching that Netflix special, right, where they went for the gold medal and all that. So I don't know if you started watching that, but like Steve Kerr said, I'm in a room with all Hall of Famers. Anthony Davis is in there. He's Hall of Famer. He's got numbers. He's got rings. He's got everything, statistics. But he's on and off again, injured. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just like he's injured all the time, and you're giving him up. And look what happened. He played one game. I don't know how many games he played. One game, two games, and
they
now
played
he's
one
out.
game. No, he's out.
Yeah, he's out now, and I'm kind of like, wow, that's already showing that this is a bad trade, and I don't, like I said, I don't know how much stock Nico Harris. I know he's a GM, but I mean, there's got to be something like, some kind of repercussion, something that goes on. I don't know, you get fired or what needs to happen, or if
Yeah.
this GoFundMe raises enough money. To get changed, because I mean, I think Kyrie Irving's next. I think Klay Thompson's like, oh shoot, I'm not sticking around. I
Yeah,
think,
I mean he joined, he went there to join Kyrie and Luca, and now Luca's gone. He's like, what I come here for?
man, yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but I just don't see it ending well. I think it ends well for the Lakers.
Yeah, they'll definitely be in playoff contention for the next probably 10 years.
Yeah,
They keep
exactly.
Luca.
Yeah, and they have
But
Austin Reeves. I don't know their whole roster, but
yeah,
Austin
Austin Reeves has
Reeves
been a good
with
player.
Luca. I mean, then you just start getting some other guys around him. I mean, they'll be winning for a long time to come.
Yeah. But ever since the Luca trade, I mean Kyrie's been balling. He's averaging about 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. I mean, ever since Luca's gone, he's had to step up, and he has. But I mean, it makes it harder when you had another such good scorer with you. It makes scoring a lot more harder. Because I mean, like Clay could score, but he's not that on Luca level.
Right.
And obviously with AD in there, it would probably make Kyrie's life easier. But with AD not playing, I mean, he's got to put the team on his back. Kyrie's got to put the team on his back. So we'll continue to see how that goes. But I'm surprised, Adam Silver didn't step in. How you gonna tell
Yeah,
me David Stern stepped in from stopping Kobe from getting Chris Paul, right? Back in
yeah. Right.
what was
That's
it? Back
good.
in
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was David Stern, right? Yeah, David Stern, and
yeah,
Adam Stern. He just let that go, and it's kind of like, wow, I think that needed to be looked into, investigated a little bit more, or someone needed to be arrested on the Lakers there because they stole.
yeah. Because no offense to Chris Paul's a Hall of Fame player, but like comparing him then to Luca now, I mean, Luca's a
Yeah,
10 times better player,
yeah,
and you see Chris Paul got vetoed, but Luca didn't. It's just like, well,
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, that's why there wasn't a whole lot. This was a big shock. I thought it was fake, right? I mean, like a lot of people, I thought it was one of these fake news things or whatever you may call it, and uh, burner account or whatever that those are called here. And I just thought it was, and then it became official. These guys are holding up their jerseys of a different team, and yeah, it was very shocking.
yeah. So now we'll get into the Pistons. The Pistons have been on a hot streak as of recent. They've won 8 of the last 9. Um, they're a very young team. That struggled in the past couple of years. I mean, they had like they barely. I think they had like 26 wins, if that. I don't think they even had 26 wins last year. They had probably like 20 or less wins last year. Now they're pretty sure they're at 32 and they're in playoff contention. I mean, why do you think this is?
Yeah, I see them right here, the 6th seed right now, 33-27. They lost today, like we were saying earlier, but yeah, it's just a young team. Kate Cunningham, made the All Star,
Yeah,
and he's just having just a great great year for himself. And then there's a lot of they got one of the Thompson brothers,
yeah, they
uh,
have Sir
Asur.
Thompson.
I don't know how to pronounce Asar. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
pronounce these
Sir
names.
Thompson.
I won't
Yeah,
ever get these names right. uh, but Jaden Ivey's another guy. Um,
what's his name? Jaren Duran, the big
yeah,
man.
yeah, Jalen Duran.
He's really
So
good. I remember I was like, man, the Warriors should try to trade for that guy, but he's so good. I knew the Pistons would never try to deal him. But yeah, they're just a very young team. They got a lot of heart, they got a lot of fire, and they're just very athletic, and they got some veterans. They acquired Dennis Schroeder from the Warriors. Obviously Schroeder's been in the league a long time. He's been in big games. He's a really good mentor. And I mean, yeah, they just been on fire. I mean, they beat Boston by 20 the other day. They lost today. They lost to Denver by 15, but they are a young and hungry team after losing. Like I'm pretty sure the first 2 seasons with Cade, I mean they've been just win. They this year they're on one, and
yeah,
it'd be really nice to see them in the playoffs. Cause back in the day, at the early 2000s they won that chip. What was it in '03? They won that championship, and then before then they were the bad boy Pistons.
oh, the Bad Boys. Yeah, that was
So
something
it's
else. Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. That was the backcourt. Yeah, those guys. They had probably what everybody sees on documentaries. They had the Michael Jordan rules, right? They were roughing it. The rules have changed quite since because you could really
yeah,
sock somebody up and not get a foul call. Um, but yeah, no, it's good to see them back in the playoff hunt. They did have the last couple years rebuilding and what do you call it? But just these draft picks that they've been getting, like you said, they're the youth movement. They're coming in and they're playing good ball. I mean, it kind of reminds me of this is the youth movement around the NBA, right? You got a lot of these teams.
like OKC.
OKC's got the young team. Are they the number 1 seed right now? I mean,
I think
uh,
so.
you got the Cavaliers. Cavaliers. I know they got
Cavaliers are a
Donovan
young
Mitchell,
team. Yeah,
but a lot of their players are younger too. Evan Mobley, Garland's pretty, somewhat younger, anyways. They're not like the Warriors who are, they got the oldie but goodie guys, but they're still effective, right? They got the
yeah.
Butler's 35, Curry's what is he 36? I think
37, 36,
37.
37.
You got to
Yeah,
appreciate. Hey, you got. This is why memo to Warrior fans if they don't know already. Appreciate that guy, number 30. I've been watching basketball a long time. I've never seen someone like that. And you hear this all the time, right? You hear it on the radio or you see it on the show. I have not seen ever anybody shoot like that. I mean, yeah, Ray
yeah,
Allen was great, but he did not shoot like that.
yeah. He wasn't making 9 3-pointers a game. But no, it's good to see the young guys, the young teams winning because after there's so many teams that have just been losing constantly and they just haven't seen them in the playoffs like the
Yeah,
Hornets, the Jazz, even the Spurs. I know the Spurs have won Miami, but they've just been losing teams, and you obviously after some time you want to see them back up top. But so it's nice to see the Pistons. It's a couple years losing years. They were building. Now they're there. They're in contention to maybe make a deep run.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, once you get in the playoffs, right? I mean, we've seen, just going off the Warriors, you get in there the eighth seed. This is the We Believe year, 2007.
Yeah,
Get in there at the eighth seed, you're playing the number one, but anything goes. You could upset could happen. It's happened plenty of times.
yeah,
So you got a hungry team that wants to shock the world, and um, then yeah, I watch out for those guys. Those are the dangerous ones.
yeah, definitely. But going back to Wembanyama, I don't know if you heard that he's out for the year. He's got the deep vein thrombosis. So I mean, it's kind of sad to see because they had just acquired De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
Big trade. De'Aaron Fox goes to the Spurs. Zach LaVine to the Kings. I mean, right now the Spurs are only 3-7 with Fox. It doesn't look like they're gonna have a chance at the playing game. They'll probably have to tank the rest of the season out, get a good draft pick,
Yeah.
and then hope Wemby comes back bigger and better. I mean, the same thing for the Kings. Kings, had the questionable move of firing Mike Brown early in the year after winning Coach of the Year unanimously. And now, right now, they're only 5-4 with Zach LaVine, and it's just like you traded your young star and your head coach, and now you're just back to where you were before Mike Brown, where you were
Do
a
you
losing
see how
team.
that? Yeah, do you see how that works? Like it's a snap of the fingers. Just your friend. I mean, these are franchise altering moves that could either propel you to win more games, or for the most part you're going to start losing. Like like the Kings. Yeah, like you said, they got rid of their coach, which was just unbelievable in itself, right? It just he's a winning coach. Uh, Take you to playoffs, and you get rid of your then after that, okay, so that just tells me you were sticking with your players, and and then Fox is gone next, and I saw something where Sabonis unfollowed Fox or something like that on Instagram or something.
Yeah. Because I mean, they were the third seed a couple years ago. I mean, unfortunately, they had to play the 6 seed Golden State Warriors, and I mean, it's what took them to 7 games. But Steph Curry had to put up 50 and win. So it's not like they were a bad team. They was just their main key guys were just struggling. I remember, when they fired Mike Brown, it's like it wasn't his fault. When Keegan Murray wasn't shooting like he was, or Kevin Herter wasn't doing his thing, and I mean, when your players struggle, I mean, the coach can't go out there and shoot for them and stuff like that. I mean, he could only, set
He's
his
putting
defensive
he's put
plays
in the
and
he put the game plan together. I mean, it's up to the players to go execute it, and they won before with this same system. So I mean, it could happen.
yeah,
It's just, yeah, like you said, Keegan Murray took a step back. I think Malik Monk was hurt for
yeah.
a little while, I
Yeah,
believe.
I think he was hurt or just not
Yeah,
playing like
I don't
they
recall everything,
used to be.
but now they're in the 10th seed from what I see here. Kind of hanging in there at the 10th seed, because then the next one's the Suns, and they're still a few games behind to even being at the 10th seed. So, but the Spurs, yeah. As for the Spurs, I think with Fox, the additional Fox, Wembanyama will come back. He's a young guy; he'll be back stronger. They'll just get better, just kind of probably similarly uh, like you said, the Pistons. You got this youth. You've been drafting high draft picks for the past several years, so uh, eventually that's got to turn the franchise around, right? I mean, that's got to just start equating to wins, hopefully.
Yeah. All right, so I got a question for you. First, who do you think gets the first of all pick for this upcoming draft?
The first overall
So obviously
pick.
they got the lottery system, so it's not like worst team, gets the
Yeah.
first pick.
Oh, geez. I'm looking right here. I see the Wizards. Oh,
Yeah. See the Wizards, the Raptors, the
Raptors.
Hornets,
Okay. The
Spurs, the Pelicans, the
76ers.
Jazz.
76ers. Embiid is out the rest
Yeah,
of the
Embiid's
season.
out for the rest of the year. But then look at you even see the Suns. The Suns are the 11th seed. They're 27-32 with what Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, and it's just
Wow,
like,
how did I mean? Even think of that. Like they try to put their own big three together for the last
yeah,
several years, right? Bradley Beal, Book, and talk about it. It just doesn't always work, right? I mean, you need
Yeah.
players that are to mesh and work well together, and
Yeah,
that
and yeah, even with, I mean, when Durant came to the Warriors, I mean, a couple of guys sacrificed. Curry,
yep,
obviously, he was putting up some great stats, but he sacrificed like leading the team almost a little bit. Clay sacrificed contract wise. They made
yeah,
sacrifices. Nowadays these guys aren't making sacrifices. I mean, the Suns had a lineup of, I think it was Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton, and they were winning games. But then boom, they shipped off both of Ayton and Paul, and it's like, I mean, you
and
just took away key contributors for another guy who's better when he's one on one and is the main guy on the team. So it's like,
101, yeah.
e- even back when Durant was in the with Brooklyn, I mean, they did mesh together. I mean, they went to the, I think, the conference finals, and I think Harden got hurt, Kyrie got hurt, but I mean, yeah, that's what the big problem with these guys trying to make a super team is the guys got to be willing to sacrifice a little bit,
And you have
But
to, yeah, you have to. Obviously, you have to sacrifice. I mean, like you said, that's exactly right. Everybody bought in on the Warriors as soon as KD arrived. Everybody bought into the hey, we're in it to win championships, and it's like at that point, what is that, 2017, 2018? It was like, hey, Warriors, you need to win the championship. You got some of the best players to ever play this game, Hall of
yeah,
Famers. You got like at least 4 Hall of Famers on there. Iguodala, you could argue that's another one, right? Um, you have, you were just supposed to win those championships. That's why it was kind of easier to watch, when they had those guys like, oh, yeah, they're going to win. The
yeah,
2015 championship, though, that one felt a little bit, that was for me like my favorite. 2015, you know,
yeah. It was just unexpected.
unexpected they just came up on the scene, and Splash Brothers were born, and
And they had to fight. They had to fight LeBron in 7 games.
fought LeBron many times, and but yeah, no, it was just some of the best basketball that you could watch. I heard Draymond Green said it was the best era. I don't know if you saw that. He
Yeah,
said it's the best era, and then Stephen A. ripped them apart. Right? Did you see that?
I have not. I saw the clip of Draymond saying it was the best era, but I
Yeah,
didn't
he
see
said it was
Stephen
the
A. ripping
best
them
era.
apart.
And Stephen A. he started talking about like Magic and the Showtime Lakers
Yeah,
battling Larry Bird and the Celtics, the Chicago Bulls against whoever they had to go up against, because they had to battle the Knicks, and
or even Shaq and Kobe.
sheesh,
Shaq and Kobe, when they were together, they dominated.
they were dominating, man. I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, I didn't want to see the Lakers win so damn much, but they did. Especially, I remember at that time rooting for the come on Kings, put these guys down. Chris Webber, Jason Williams. Actually, I think it was Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, because
Yeah,
they trade, yeah, and then Vlade Divac. Come on, guys, Peja. You guys get over this hump. Can you beat the Lakers? I'm tired of seeing them hoist that trophy up at the end of the year. You know what I mean? I mean, it just happens so much, uh, and it just never happened. They just kept dominating, doing their thing. I think even one year, Portland Trailblazers were up by 15 points. They were about to knock the Lakers out of the playoffs, and Kobe and Shaq came back, man.
Kobe and Shaq.
They ended up winning that damn game and sending Portland home crying.
Yeah, there's the iconic picture when Kobe throws him the lob, right?
He throws him that lob. That was
Yeah,
it right there. They took the lead on that shot. He points to the crowd. You know what I mean? Everyone's pumped up.
yeah,
I was like, no, what's going on? But no, they play great. They beat everybody again in front of them. You know, just wish somebody would take them out. They didn't take them out. They're the champions. And then they get Luca, so I'm still upset.
yeah. All right, so one last thing. What's your hot take on who's winning, who's going to the finals, and who's winning?
Who's going to the finals, huh? Oh man, I'm going to be biased here, man. I mean, I don't think they're there yet. They need to get some more games under the belt. But of course, I'm going for the Warriors to be in there. I know it's just like a homer pick, but as long as you have number 30 is out on that court, anything is possible. I mean, anything. I've seen him. I've seen them down by 20 and him knock that out in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
so I just think as long as he's on the court and he has the surrounding cast of Draymond, of course, you know, Looney. I love when Looney's in there. He's playing limited minutes, but he's banging in bodies, getting rebounds.
getting rebounds.
Um, yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. You got Jimmy Butler just continue to get better with these guys, with everybody else he's playing with, and then the young guys, Pajetsky, Quentin Post, Moses Moody, Kaminga comes back. Oh man, that's a good team. I think they could play
Yeah.
with anybody. Um, but
But who are they playing?
who are
They
they
make
playing?
it.
Wow, jeez. Well, I'm looking at this Cavs and Celtics up top. You got the Knicks. I'm gonna say the Celtics again. I just don't.
The rematch
I don't
between
know
the two.
enough. Yeah, part two rematch, and it now they have more experience and. But I wouldn't sleep on the Cavaliers. Wow, what they're doing is I'm looking at them 49-10, and they won 9 in a row. Are you kidding me? Um, 33-7 in the 27-4 at home. Jeez, so they're taking care of business. They're doing what they're supposed to do to keep that first seed because it looks like Celtics are still about 7.5 behind. Um,
Yeah.
from what I see
But
here.
today they played each other. Cleveland was down, I believe it was 25-3,
Oh.
and they came back and they beat Boston. So for me, I think, like I said,
Ooh.
a little biasy, a little biasy. I think I'll go. I think the Warriors can make it. I think if they get over the hump of beating the Lakers, because they've struggled to beat the Lakers the past couple years, if they beat the Lakers, I think they'll go all the way, and I think they'll play Cleveland.
Yeah, whoever's listening to this is probably saying, "Ah, you bunch of homers."
Yeah,
Thinking the worst.
probably.
But hey, we just finished laying it out there why we think that. I mean, yeah, like you
Yeah,
said.
because I mean, if you look at the teams in the West, I mean, I Golden State could beat Oklahoma in a 7 game series. They beat Denver in a seven
Mhm.
game series. They beat the Grizzlies in a 7 game series. They they could beat the young Rockets team. I think they could beat them in a 7 game series. Even the Clippers, they could beat them in a 7 game series. Just the big question is, can they get over the hump of the Lakers?
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, they just like you said, the Rockets. Their experience for all these other young teams is far more than they got so many games just underneath the belt there of experience, championship level, playoff level. That I think that's where it comes in handy. And yeah, you're right. LeBron has that same. Luca has it in his background as well. So to get over the Lakers, I can see something like that. Lakers Warriors battling out. See who goes to the NBA Finals. Yeah, I like it.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. First, I'd like to thank my guest, my uncle Andrew Bretta. Thank you for joining me. But don't forget, yes, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. And until next time, stay ready.